All right, what's going on, people? This is End Time. Welcome to Drama Free Gaming. It's DFG Podcast 016. And in the background, you're going to be seeing some of my first go around at Phantasy Star Online 2, which I played here a couple of days and decided to capture the intro footage, so you'll see me creating my character and a little bit of the gameplay, and I'm gonna chat about this for a little while. It might be a short episode today, but before we get into anything, how's everybody doing? If you're catching me on Mixer, that would be mixer.com/endtime. That is XENDXTIMEX. That is my gamer tag. Also on Xbox. Xbox is my preferred console. Although I have a PS4 Pro, a Switch, and a Dreamcast. At least that's the systems I have out right now. I'm just a gamer, variety streamer, and we come at you with this podcast. Sometimes once a week, at least once a week is what I try to aim. I'm also here on YouTube at youtube.com/drama free gaming. And we do have an audio only of this podcast, which goes up shortly after the video, if I get an opportunity to get to it. And you can catch that at anchor.fm. And actually, you can catch that on Google Play and Pocket Cast, and it'll push it out to a lot of other providers out there. So check it out, DFG Podcast. You will see it there. Subscribe, hit a like, hit a comment. All of that helps. It truly does help. I want to thank everyone who's checked us out, whether it's been on a replay, a VOD, or maybe you caught the podcast. Either way, whatever it may be, appreciate you. I'm not gonna get into the times that we're living right now. I want to get into this podcast. I want to get into my initial impression of Phantasy Star Online 2. Let me get it out of the way. I think it's really good. I'm not going to say it's great. I think it's really good. I'll give you a little bit of background to understand. The Phantasy Star that I played, my first experience with Phantasy Star, and I don't think I played any other Phantasy Star game, was the Phantasy Star, the original, on the Sega Master System. And I've mentioned it here in the past on the podcast. And for me, that game was just amazing. I just, I know if I go back to the game today, I'd be completely clueless. I would probably not remember anything except for the last dungeon. And if any of you played it, you would know that there was a certain area in the last dungeon. And spoilers here, although the game is incredibly old, but if you've never played the original Phantasy Star and you are curious, even remotely, and you think you're going to play it, I don't want to ruin it. So maybe pause it and forward for about a minute or two. Okay, so fair warning. So the last dungeon, you have to go 4 up. Meaning 4 levels up, 3 levels down, and then 7 levels up. I don't know why I remember that. Maybe because I used to use the graph paper when I played Dungeons and Dragons and would draw out the dungeons. And so I would painstakingly just draw the 3D dungeons in this game, graphing it on this paper, and there was a place that you would fall into a pit, or there was a gap in the floor, but you wouldn't see that in the game. So anyway, I guess I did it enough that I remembered that 4 up, 3 down, 7 up, and that would cause you to complete that dungeon And there, I think it was Mew or Meow or whatever the cat's name that you had in your party. He would transform. You would feed him something, a fruit or potion, something. I don't remember the details. But that's how you would eventually then fly up into the Sky Castle or whatever it was. And if I remember, you would fight the last leader there. So those are fond memories I have of Phantasy Star. So playing this game, I was kind of hesitant, to be honest. Some of my friends, in particular, it was Jay, Dark Knight, who is usually with me on the podcast. Shout out to him. Like I said before, just pray for him. He'll be back with us here soon enough. He's got his hands full and dealing with some things, but he'll be back short enough. So he told me, he said, hey, End Time, you got to check out Phantasy Star. He said, brother, you gonna like it. And I was like, I don't know. Because, again, my memories of Phantasy Star and then just checking this game out kind of like through videos and indirectly and whatnot, I was like, I don't know. It's not the Phantasy Star that I remember. But I finally, gave way because, again, I was listening to another podcast soon thereafter, after Jay talked to me about Phantasy Star Online 2. And I didn't even know it was free on the Xbox. It's free. It's a free-to-play game. And I'm hearing this on GTR Gamertag Radio podcast. And shout out to them. I love the podcast. I just discovered it recently. And they've been in it for a while. Check them out. GTR Gamertag Radio. And so they were talking about Phantasy Star Online, the experience they were having, how the game has all these systems. They were still trying to figure it out. But they made it sound really intriguing to me, kind of like the game that I think I would have enjoyed. So I said, you know what? Jay recommended Gamertag Radio talking about this game. I said, you know what? I'm going to check it out. And, full transparency, my hesitancy is because not that I wouldn't like the game. Quite the opposite. My whole thing was that I would love the game and then I would be hooked. And so, I'm hesitant to play these games, these, RPG, live action, MMOs. That's what I understand this game to be. And I'm like, man, I don't need a game that's going to consume my life. Like, I already play The Division 2. I'm loving the Warlords of New York City content, and then the end game and past that end game. I'm working on some builds now. I'm a support player. And so I'm enjoying that game a lot, but that game takes an investment of time. Now, I don't have downtime. Even during this time of difficulty for a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are laid off from work temporarily because of this, this virus. And so, I'm essential personnel in what I do. And so my time is precious to me, and I don't want to be trapped in a game. That's the whole point of this. I don't want to be trapped. And so knowing me and knowing if a game has a good loot system, a loop, and the hook is there, I'm gonna fall into it. So I booted up Phantasy Star Online 2. Again, it's free to play on the Xbox, and I think it's exclusive for now. I'm hearing that it's going to make its way over, I think, to the PS4 and over to the Switch. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be crossplay. Anyways, the game is not new. That was the first thing that kind of took me back. I think it released in 2012. I'm not sure. But not here in the States. I believe it was over in Japan or China. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Anyways, so the game's been out for a minute, but now it's here. And so I booted it up. And the first thing, as you can see, you guys been seeing here for a little bit, was the selection of a character and then the actual customization of that character. I really thought that I was just going to be flippant and just go through this. It's a bit overwhelming is the word. Overwhelming, not in a bad way, but rather you have to read, okay? And if you're just accustomed to getting in there, hitting a couple of buttons, jumping in, I guess you can do that. I'm not sure if you can go back and tweak your character, which I think you can, because you'll be continuously like changing armor and all that stuff. So I'm sure you can go back and change the look of your character. But I decided I was going to take a little bit of time and look through all the options, read. Again, it takes a moment for you to actually know which button to hit and what to do. It doesn't explain it to you. But if you give it a little bit of time, you'll get it. And I found myself that once I started like just, paying attention to the button that I was pressing to do this and to do that. And again, the layout, it's not self-explanatory, but once you get into it, you'll be all right. So we went through the character creation and customization, and you'll see that I did everything, from height to the body composition to the expression to the color of the hair, style of the hair, everything. I mean, it has a lot of options. And so that was cool. I wound up putting a character together and then jumping into the game. You'll see here, hopefully in a little bit. I forget how long I stayed in these menus, but getting into the game itself, okay? Again, the menus are, you can tell it's dated. And what I mean by that is that to navigate the menus, I don't know. And you know what? Let me step back. Maybe it's not dated, but the menus are not the easiest to familiarize yourself with until you get in there and you start to play and you start to select things. And there's even things like I purchased something in one of the kiosks on the ship, and I bought some healing, quote unquote, potions or something. I can't find them in my inventory. I don't know where they went. And then I'm thinking to myself, did I purchase this? Or maybe I selected them and said I was going to purchase it, but maybe canceled the transaction. So I don't know. I mean, I looked everywhere and anywhere that I could in my inventory, but I didn't see it. Phantasy Star Online, it's, to me, I'll say this, and I'm coming from a place where I played vanilla Destiny. I loved Destiny, vanilla Destiny. Broke as it was, as grindy as it was, the loop was there. And I played that game. I played that game a whole lot. And I was thinking to myself before I sat at this mic to record this and give this impression, I said, you know what? If I would have played this game, Phantasy Star Online 2, before Destiny, I would have been just as hooked playing this game, Phantasy Star. And why? Because it's a game that's involved. It's a game that has a lot of systems, from what I'm gathering, a lot of customization. The game loop is there. The loot is there. And I haven't even gotten into the game, but I can already get that sense of, man, I want to go out there. I want to accomplish, this mission. And there's several missions that you can do. That's one of the things that I noticed in my gameplay, because I played a bit more after this video that you guys are watching here. If you're watching the video, it's about an hour long that I recorded. And again, it's just the intro and the beginning gameplay, like the tutorial and stuff. But I've played it since, and you can go to like a station and select either like the story mode mission and accomplish those, finish those up, and it's kind of like a training type tutorial, I'm guessing. Or you could jump into a party, because it is Phantasy Star Online, so there's people playing and you can join up a group. There's quests that you do, and of course, as you keep leveling up, you keep getting better gear, you equip it, you can modify it. It's a lot. There's a lot here to really jump into and get into and appreciate, to be honest. But it's going to take some time. I can't stress that enough. If you have time and if you have some patience, give Phantasy Star Online 2 a try. There is a what they call it, a premium package. I think it's full price $60. There's a lower tier, I believe, that you can purchase as well. I haven't even seen that, to be honest. By all the stuff that I'm seeing, there is so much content in this game. So much content. I don't know at what point I would personally make the decision of maybe investing some money into the game, because again, for me, I can see me coming back to this game, playing. I might hook up with some of my friends if they're playing, try it out, maybe learn some things from them. But for the investment of time and what the game offers you, and my initial impression, and this is all it is, guys. It's not saying that the game is bad, that the game is good. My initial impression is there's a lot in this game, a lot for you to dive into, to get in there and get yourself familiar with the game, do some solo missions, figure out the systems that are in place, mess around with it. I think that's the only way. Like right here, if you're watching the video, I think it was here where I was trying to get the eyes on my character to look a certain way. And as I was moving the joystick, it was only allowing me to widen the eyes vertically. And I wanted to get it horizontal as well, to give it the shape that I wanted. I didn't know how to do that. And I actually just messing around by pressing the buttons again on my controller. I noticed that then, one of the icons kind of like turned off, and then I was able to move it with my analog stick and move that light to the other corner of the eye icon, and I was able to do what I needed to do. I kind of stumbled into that, but it was just messing around with it. And, I don't know if that helps you guys to kind of get an appreciation for what this game can be. And if you're like me, if you like games that are involved, if you like games that you can customize, you can find a game loop, I'm sure that this game is going to be right up your alley. It definitely is a game that I can see myself coming back to, playing, messing around with it for a while, and just enjoying myself. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think here in the comments on youtube.com/drama free gaming. Leave me some comments. Tell me if you decided to try the game and did you like it? Do you see yourself diving into the game, getting involved, or is it not for you? Is it just, too much, too complicated? Is the game dated? Is the systems, just terrible? I didn't find the systems to be that much trouble. I'm still, again, to be fair, learning how to navigate them. So, it is what it is. But the game, like I said, has a lot to offer. So if you're even remotely curious, check it out. I would recommend it. Honestly, I would recommend it. It's worth your time. So moving on from Phantasy Star Online 2, and if you're watching the video again, you can just continue watching. I'll eventually get into some gameplay here with the game. If you guys haven't checked out id at Xbox, it is a channel on YouTube. GDC, the Game Developers Conference, was canceled, just like a lot of all these other events that would usually be scheduled and attended by developers, and us as gamers would either be there live or tuning in. GDC got canceled, and so id at Xbox, these indie games, these indie developers, there is 6 videos, and they're spotlight videos. Go check them out. id at Xbox spotlight video, and you can type those words that I just said and put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See them in order. Each video is about 7 minutes long, and they are just spotlighting, like the videos say, spotlighting these games that are coming out either later this year or in a couple of months. And some of them look pretty cool. The video that stood out for me was the spotlight video number 3. Each of them has some things that I think I could remotely like, but I like the entire showcase for the spotlight 3 id at Xbox video. So go check those out. They are on YouTube, and see what's coming up. I'm glad that Xbox has used this format, and that we're still getting exposed to these games that would have probably just fell to the wayside. But now at least we know they're being put to the forefront, and it gives us an opportunity to check them out. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool there. So what else? What else can we talk about here? I didn't want to talk about it, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it here, but there was 2 games. The first one, Phantasy Star Online 2, which we just talked about here, and giving you my initial impression. The other game that I said I was gonna check out was Animal Crossing New Horizon, and so I've never played that game. Again, I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. The description of the game, it sounds like one of those games that I know that if I play, it's probably gonna be right up my alley. And so I will be playing, and I want to do some video capture on it. To be 100% transparent again, I actually already purchased it and did start the game, and I was right about the game. I should have never played Animal Crossing. And you might ask yourself, well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm just going to leave you in suspense. Okay? So for the next one, I will give you my review of Animal Crossing, tell you what my impressions are, my first time ever playing an Animal Crossing game. I know that these games have been out on the Nintendo platform on some of their other consoles. My son, my oldest, he's a big Nintendo guy, Nintendo fan, big Sonic fan, by the way. And I'm sure, and he's played it. I've never played it. As a matter of fact, to be honest, when I looked at it from a distance, I said, what is this? It's like these little animal looking characters, personified animals. They don't even talk. It's just more like sounds that come from them. And I thought to myself, this is silly. I'm not going to waste my time playing this game. As a matter of fact, I think in a previous podcast made with Jay, maybe a couple of podcasts ago, when the game first came out, I think it was maybe 2 weeks already, 3 weeks already, not too sure. At the time of this podcast, I'm not too sure, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks already. I remember saying something to the effect that Animal Crossing gave me the impression of it being, kind of like a timeshare pitch. You get to go on an island and supposedly this retreat, but then you wind up, building a house and all these other things that, you get involved with. And I was like, yeah, that sounds, you go into some serious debt and then you got to pay that debt back off. And I don't know. It just didn't sound at all, not one bit appealing to me. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. But here we are. I purchased it. And like I said, I already booted it up, started playing it. I want to do some game capture on it. And then I'll get back to you guys and give you my full, honest impression on the game and whether I'm going to continue playing it or chuck it to the side. One or the other, guys. I don't know. We shall see what it's going to be. So let's leave that to the side. What am I currently playing? Well, aside from Phantasy Star and just testing the waters in Animal Crossing, I already said Division 2. I got to get back to and finish The Last of Us Remastered. And we're going to wrap that up here. If I don't play this week and release a video, a stream that I've been doing here on YouTube and posting it, I'll do it this weekend. We'll knock that out. I still have Ori and the Will of the Wisp that I want to get to. Ori, I don't know when I'm going to get to you. I just don't want to start playing and then have to put you down like I did with the first one. I played Ori and the Will of the Wisp, an amazing game, and then I wound up putting it down and didn't come back to it for like a year. And that's not good. It didn't deserve that treatment. When I went back to it, I wound up finishing it. And so, yeah, I don't want to do it an injustice. And maybe just holding off, guys, to play a game and not playing it like day one is the best thing, especially with some of these games. And I heard that Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and it wouldn't be the first game that does this, but it needed a patch. And so, a lot of games need that day one patch, and sometimes even those games that get the patches are still not right. There's still bugs that slip through. And so, maybe playing a game a couple of days after, maybe a week or two after is probably a good thing. And I know I'm saying that, but there's only a couple of games that I've been on there day one. And, it's the reality of our gaming now. It comes with the territory. we know that the game more than likely is going to have some sort of bug, and hopefully that bug is not something that's going to kill your experience while you play. I mean, I was hearing of people playing Ori, and they were having the save feature bug where they played for a certain amount of time and then the game didn't really save, and so they lost all that progress. And no, to me that's not acceptable. I mean, again, my time being what it is, and trying to play a couple of games here and there, I don't want to invest some time in a game and then have it not save, and then I have to go back. It'll completely turn me off. I don't care what the game it is that I'm playing. It'll turn me off. So right now I am in my room, in my quote unquote studio. Do I dare call it that? Maybe. I do my studying in here. I do my gaming in here. I do my reading in this room. And I am really happy, guys, because I got a door. I had an archway in my entrance to this room. And now I have an actual door. So if the video sounds a little bit echoey, I'm not too sure. I'm going to hear it on the replay. But I'm gonna now work on getting some of this foam and putting it up on the wall and trying to deaden some of the echo and the openness. And yeah, so things are coming along. I'm loving it. It's been a long time coming to get this door, but I got it. And had a brother and his wife work on that. They did an amazing job. Shout out to them. Love them much. And yeah, so let's see what else. I'm looking around here, guys. I'm kind of stalling here for a little bit because if you're watching the video, I wanted you to see some of the gameplay, but I think I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm not going to drag it out anymore. You see me finishing up here the on the video, at least, the character customization, and for whatever it's worth, go check out those Xbox, those ID at Xbox Spotlight videos. As a matter of fact, here on the video format, if you're catching this on youtube.com/drama free gaming, I'm going to play one of these videos. So for the audio, I'm going to go back and edit and say farewell to you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Again, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like, hit a follow if you're on Mixer, and enjoy yourself, guys. Don't focus on those things you have no control over of. Know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. And keep your life and your gaming drama free. Later, people. If you guys are on the video, stick around. I'm going to play the Spotlight video 3 for you guys. All right? As to the audio, again, keep your life and your gaming drama free. All right, so that pause was for me. We're still here on the video, and let me just transition over to this video. And actually, since you guys are still here, you guys are gonna get a chance here to see some of this gameplay for Phantasy Star Online. So I'm going to mute my mic for a bit and let you see and hear the gameplay on this video, commentary free, okay? And then I'll switch over to this ID at Xbox Spotlight video 3. So thank you again.
Let's not get too eager. go too quickly. Oh, that's right. This is our first taste of actual combat in the field. I guess we ought to practice the basics first then.
I am Hilda, the operator. I will begin your certification mission. First, I will check your vision. Take a look around you. Good. You didn't seem to have any trouble. Next, I will confirm your maneuverability. Move to the specified location.
What's wrong, mate? The arrow is pointing at our objective. Let's go.
Looks like you have no problem with movement. Next, I will confirm how you jump. You see those blocks in front of you? Jump over them.
We can get over a barrier like this. There you go.
Good. Okay, now I'll confirm how you attack. Teleporting a virtual target. Use your equipped weapon to attack it.
Okay, let's kick some ass!
Next, I'll confirm your photon arts. Teleporting virtual targets.
Alright guys, so I'm going to cut the video here and translate over to the It at Xbox Spotlight video 3. These are the 6 videos I was telling you about. I'm going to just play number 3 for you. I encourage you to check out the other ones out, alright? Okay guys, later. Oh, did I hit the wrong one? There it is. Number 3. Yes, I wish to proceed. Let's go.
I get to help game developers bring awesome games to Xbox, which involves scouring the world, meeting amazing developers, and playing new games. GDC has always been a great time to meet lots of fantastic independent developers. And although we unfortunately missed the one-on-one interaction this year, we still have the games. In this video, we present a game that lets you take the reins of a sled dog team lost in the Alaskan wilderness. A game that lets you operate a machine from the dawn of the Electric Age to save Teddy Roosevelt, and a dungeon crawler where you play as the dungeon, and more.
Alright, so some brief commentaries
Let's get out there
from me.
and
This
live
game
wildly.
here, I first
The
saw
Red
it
Lantern is a
announced
story of
for the
identity
Switch.
and learning to come into your own. The musher, upset with where she was at or wasn't at in her life, decides to hit the reset button. She grabs her best buddy Chomper, jumps in her van, and decides to move to Alaska to start a dog sledding team and a new life. On her way there, she adopts 4 more pups to help her on her journey to find her new home. Luckily, she was gifted a cabin by an old neighbor who once competed in dog sled races. You know, it's just past some trees and a lake. You'll find
This
it out there
game
by some rocks.
honestly looks
Just
pretty
a couple
cool,
of days'
and
journey
it's something
by
that I
sled.
can see myself
Of course,
playing.
things aren't quite so simple.
My wife definitely
And
wants to
soon the
play
musher
it,
finds
so
herself needing to
it'll be
figure
one
out
of the few
how
games she
can
plays on
survive and
Switch.
get home.
I wouldn't mind a snack.
The game features nearly 100 different encounters with a variety of results based on your actions. Each dog on your team has their own storyline, and you must help them find who they are too.
Oh, great. A squirrel.
Chomper, for instance, is obsessed with chasing down all manner of creatures, whether you want him to or not.
Oh.
We'll be out later this year, and we can't wait to share more details soon.
This, I think, is one of the most original ideas I've seen, and I'm definitely gonna play this.
What would a video game look like if someone invented it 100 years ago? That core idea really helped us create a unique game experience because everything is driven by that early 1900s look and feel. The game has a crazy level of detail and articulation. You can actually see the struts, gears, and all the machinery that makes the game work while you explore a tin world from 1906. For the game itself, we wanted to build a really fun, accessible, co-op arcade-style shooter. Our inspirations were classic games like Contra and Robotron. In Dread Machine's story, President Teddy Roosevelt has been kidnapped and you have to save him. You follow the trail of his abductors from the streets of New York, across the Great Plains to the Old West and beyond. There are interesting
I like the
wrinkles and secrets
aesthetics.
along the way, and nothing is
I
what
like
it
the
seems.
look, the
There are 6
aesthetics,
different locations, about
the
a
gameplay
dozen
does
different
not look
weapons,
easy.
including super weapons you
Looks
can find
simple,
unlocking
but
historical characters like
on
Nikola
those
Tesla, Mary
rails,
Curie, and Bass Reeves. And you can play
I think it's
as
pretty
all
dope.
those characters plus 5 others. Right now, the project is getting close to the content complete stage. After that, we plan to polish and tune the game for a few months. It'll launch on Xbox One and Windows 10 late summer of 2020.
late summer of 2020. Definitely gonna be playing that game.
Congratulations! We are delighted to inform you that your application to the Dungeons Company has been accepted.
Legend of Keepers is our new roguelite tactical dungeon defender. The principle is simple, so the heroes are attacking your dungeon, and you have to defend it with your monsters, your traps, and masters. The key features of Legend of Keepers is the tactical combat. Enemies have elemental attacks, defenses, and resistances, but your monsters have them too. It's a bit like Darkest Dungeon. You have to place your minion carefully and fit to attack the right heroes.
I've never played
But
Darkest
you also have
Dungeons,
the
but
management parts. Your monsters may go on
I've heard good
strike,
things about it, and this is that
like
a rogue-like
at the lunchroom, or need
game.
to visit a therapist for their monster problems. So that's
and
it.
you are the
Thank
monsters
you,
defending the
and,
dungeons from the
see you
heroes.
at the lunch.
Pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna be playing this game as well.
What if we could learn from the events of a tragedy and then use
This
that
is
knowledge
interesting.
to prevent it happening
Don't know
in the
about
first
play
place?
it, but it's interesting.
To fix this timeline, all 6 subjects must be saved, and you are only authorized to alter the decisions they made in the week before they died.
In Second Chance, players uncover fragments of a tragic story from the past and then use that knowledge to stop a similar tragedy happening in the present. H.G. Wells', Doctor Who, and time travel stories are all a part of Second Chance's DNA. Players are time travelers, able to watch individual events from the past and change the decisions that were made. The consequences of changing a character's decision will ripple forward through the time stream, changing later events in a multitude of ways. Only by carefully observing these events and choosing the correct sets of decisions can the player successfully save them all. With 6 people to save and dozens of decisions, there are millions of possible timelines and multiple outcomes for the player to uncover in Second Chance.
Pretty cool. Interesting. Very interesting.
Iconville is a mysterious school where young witches learn to hone their magic. But when its most famous and heroic student goes missing, her sister and friends take it upon themselves to solve the mystery. I
And these
love
games right
time-based
here,
RPGs like
with the
Paper Mario,
art style,
and tactical RPGs like Fire Emblem.
for me,
And so
doesn't look so
Iconville is
good
a
on my
unique
4K
hybrid of
TV,
those game
but
systems.
on my
I use this
1080p
to tell a
monitor,
story where we
it
look
looks
at the unsung
sweet.
heroes dear to us. The ones who
So maybe
comfort
something
us
to
when we're
consider if you
depressed,
do check it out.
shield us when we're vulnerable, and stay by our sides as we fight our inner demons. I brought in Ivy and Sarashu, the musicians for Steven Universe, because they have a lot of experience composing for stories about personal growth. My biggest hope is that Ikenfell connects with people and stays with them long after they've finished playing.
It's 1986. Meredith Weiss takes a break from her career in the big city.
So a lot of these games that were announced by these developers, or quite a few, I kind of picked up on that theme that they are set like in the 80s. So here's one of these games, and
I'm not a mailman exactly. I'm
I don't know.
Meredith Weiss.
It's curious to me. The story,
fusion of traditional story-driven,
make choices, story-driven, and
free roaming driving simulation.
pretty cool.
And modern narrative games.
Pretty cool, you know, to check it out. Got nothing better to do.
Interactive story that doesn't shy away from slice of
Maybe
life
something again that I would
Meredith
play
has
on
an
the
eventful
Switch.
2 weeks. She meets lots of new people, gets into romances, helps prevent the construction of an apartment complex, reconnects with her BFF. What will she do next? It's up to you.
Alright guys, so there you have it. I am pretty much done for this evening. Thank you for hanging out. Here you guys on video. We'll catch you on the next one. Again, as we always say, take care, be good to one another, and keep your life and your gaming drama free. Later.